Attention, all business owners, groups, service providers, organizations. Facebook appointments are going away in mid-July 2024. And just for the record, we're doing this video in mid-June of 2024. So if you rely on this tool to manage your bookings, your appointments, don't panic, but do watch this video because it's time to find alternatives and set yourself up for a smooth transition because the clock is ticking. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to today's stream. I'm Kathleen, your tech coach, and I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing world of technology. And boy, is this one for the books. So thank you for joining me today. We've got an important update that we need to talk about. So if you are a business owner, a service provider, an organization, a group, or just anybody who uses Facebook to manage your appointments, this video is for you. The news is that Facebook has announced very quietly, like if you blink or if you were in a loud room, you missed it. But they have announced that the built-in appointments tool is going to be discontinued starting July 2024. Now, the catch here is that we're only finding out about this in the middle of June 2024. So not a ton of time to deal with this. The good news is there's lots of options out there. So we don't have to worry too much. Did I remember to update this? I may not have. Nope, I didn't. That was last week. So, just for a little background, yes, Marcus just mentioned that they didn't even know that that was a possibility. Is this going to work? There we go. Yes, Facebook had an appointment feature. So if you never used it, if you were not aware of it, you're good. But if you are somebody who relies on that particular tool, this is not necessarily good news. It happens. It happens. It's okay. This too, we shall survive, right? This too is not the end of the world. But it has been a valuable resource to a lot of people because it allowed them to schedule and manage appointments directly through their Facebook page. And a lot of people spend most of their time on Facebook, like Facebook is their go-to. But as of July, it's not going to be available anymore. So if you've been using this tool to book your clients, schedule meetings, manage your calendar, you're going to need to find a solution, and soon, like right away. So for those of you who are new here and maybe we haven't met, my name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. Short version of the story is technology is my day gig. I design software for a living. It's also my hobby because I find it all fascinating. So my friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers tend to come to me when they have questions, when they need help with something. And I know not everybody has something like that. So hello, that's why I do these videos for you. And you are more than welcome to share your experiences, where you're going to go with your appointments in the comments, because we're all here to help each other. So let's talk about why this is happening. And the reality is Facebook hasn't given us a reason. Not a detailed reason, not a soft reason. They just told us that they're discontinuing the tool. Now, it's common for this to happen, if they're going to replace it with a better tool, or if it's a tool that just isn't supported, or isn't used a lot. So they may, just shut it down. Here's my guess. Again, I have no insider knowledge. I have no contacts at Facebook, but having worked at a lot of different companies, doing a lot of different software, there's generally two categories that this falls into. One is streamlining, right? Because Facebook has been reducing headcount. We all know what that means, right? So because of the reduction in numbers of employees available to work on projects, this may just have not made the cut for ongoing support and development. And they may be repositioning the people that they have left to more core features and removing less used ones like this. The other thing that tends to trigger these kinds of things is competition, right? There's a ton of really good dedicated booking platforms out there. Lots of options, lots of price points. So that may also be a part of it. That may be all of it, right? Maybe Facebook just was not able to gain dominance because, let's face it, Facebook wants dominance. Meta, if you want to use that word. And when they don't get it, sometimes they just walk away from it. So that may also be a part of it. But they're not saying much, and I don't think that they're going to say much, given the fact that this has been very quiet. So what does this mean for you? If you rely heavily on appointments, specifically the Facebook appointments, you're going to need to find a new solution for your bookings ASAP. And you're going to need to do all the stuff, which we'll talk about in more detail, but, copy over your existing appointments, get all the references updated, get your clients updated. If this is only something you use occasionally, you may not be as directly impacted, but you're still going to want to look for other options, because basically if you're using it at all, it doesn't matter if you're a heavy user or a light user, it's still going away. So that's really, really important. Let's go ahead and take a look at the announcement, such as it was. Because in particular, and of course the links are in the description as always, but this is the part that cracked me up, right? Certain features of the appointments tool will be going away. I don't know why they couched it that way, because it's going away, right? You can't create or schedule, you can't access it, customers can't specify what they want the appointment for, and they can't do any rescheduling. So it's going away. I don't know why this is there. It does not make any sense to me. And just for reference, if you are using it and you need to download your appointment history, that information is available here. So you can go ahead and get all that. In typical fashion, they shove this at the top of the About Appointments on Facebook page, which talks about the benefits and the convenience and how to use it. But I don't know why they bother, because it's going away. So just pay attention to the beginning part. So basically, here up to where they talk about how to get your appointments, and just ignore the rest, because it doesn't matter anymore. They're taking it away. Like I said, don't worry, you don't have to write this down. The link is in the description, so you just go ahead and grab that there. But yeah, a very strange way to word it. The emails that some people are getting, I didn't get it. Did you get it? Some people are getting emails about this, and it's basically the same thing. So I don't really know why they did what they did, but okay, that's fine. That's their choice. It's their playground. It's their ball. So the next thing for you is finding an alternative, right? And the important thing here is to choose the right tool, right? There's a lot of good tools out there. That is the benefit for all of us, right? But not all of them have all the same features. So that is the first thing, right? You need to kind of take a step back and think about the features you were using inside of the Facebook Appointments app when you were using it, and identify what you absolutely need. And also, this is a really good opportunity for what would be nice to have, right? What was always missing from the solution that you were using with Facebook? Some things to think about, right? Collecting online payments, calendar sync, reminders, that kind of stuff. Then you're going to want to look at your budget, right? Because there are free and paid options out there, but that will also tie back into the first one of the features, right? As something that is free is probably going to have less of a variety of features than a paid solution. So you need to look at, are you going to go free or are you going to go paid? And if you're going to go paid, what can you afford? Another important thing, right, which I don't think enough people stop to think about, is the ease of use for you, right? You don't need another problem in your life. Trust me, I get that. So think about, what type of approach are you comfortable with? Take a look, pay attention to the websites when you're evaluating things. Look at the screen captures they provide. If it looks overwhelming, it may be overwhelming for you. So you do want to factor in all that type of thing too, just to make sure that you're finding something that's going to work for you. Integrations is another important part of this puzzle, right? You are possibly using, Facebook appointments with something else like Zapier or your email tool or something like that. So you're going to want to make sure that it works with the other tools you use. If you have a particular calendar tool that you're going to marry this with to keep your calendar sync, to also make it, clear to your audience, your clients, your members, what dates and times are available, that's another thing to pay close attention to. And please, 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 factor in your customer experience, right? Is this going to be user-friendly for your clients, your members? And that is a very specific thing to your audience, right? What may be customer friendly for my audience may be different for what is going to work for your audience. So things to keep in mind, things to consider, because these are all important pieces. Yes, Marcus, absolutely. That little spin on, certain features are going away. For example, the whole thing. Yeah, that was definitely somebody in marketing. Let's see what we got here. As a rule of thumb, a dedicated tool is usually better than the function of a big platform. Generally, yes. There was a convenience thing here, but and I know you've heard this too, right? There's been a lot of, let's call them interesting choices on Facebook's part of late, like the things that they've done with their groups. Like a lot of people use Facebook because it is an all-in-one solution, or at least it was. But now with the changes they've made to groups, it's not working for a lot of people who run groups there. And now that you're losing the appointment feature, yeah, again, maybe not so convenient to run your business through Facebook. I'm a big fan, and I agree with this, right? Not only, dedicated tools, but also the more you control of your universe, the better off your life will be. Because you have no control over these things, right? So if you're using an all-in-one tool like Facebook, you have no control. You have no say in what they're going to do. And so again, the more you have control over, the better your life in general will be. Now, that does require some setup, and coordination of getting everything balanced. But this is why I've always said it's not enough to have a Facebook presence. You need a website, right? And you can go, I've got videos on that. But even if you just create a one-page website, that is your point on the internet that people can always find you, and you can always communicate with your audience, and you have total control over. That is so critical, and this is a perfect example why. So it's not enough to, be on a social media platform and call that how you're, doing things, or being on Facebook or something like that. You really do need to have multiple points of contact so that if one of them goes away, people can still find you on the others. Yeah, I figured you'd get a kick out of that. Interesting. There have been interesting choices that they've been doing. Facebook is always, a little interesting, but definitely feeling a pullback from some of the things I'm seeing. Again, I have no insider knowledge, but having worked in a lot of different companies, this feels like they're cutting back for a reason. But anyway, that's a whole other show. That's a whole other conversation. So let's talk about what you're going to need to do as part of your action plan, because it's important to get things started. And I figure I can't tell you what tool is going to work best for you, because that's going to depend on everybody else, all of your different setups. But let's go ahead and what I can do is help you walk through the process of finding an alternative, right? And the first is you're going to need to find an alternative tool. There's a bunch of them out there, but you go ahead and, do a search, do best online scheduling, all that kind of stuff. After you've written down your must-haves and nice-to-haves, you want that in a list in front of you before you start to go and do the evaluation, because it will help you factor, some options in it and throw other ones out because they don't fit, right? So you want to find the ones that are going to be the best fit for you. I've got business on there, but it's more than just businesses doing this. Also, while you're doing that process, keep an eye out to see what formats they can import existing appointments in, right? Because you're going to want to go and export, and don't wait to do this until after you choose something, but do pay attention to the options for export. But you're going to want to export your current appointments so that you don't lose them, right? Because when this gets turned off, you're going to lose access to everything. So make sure you're going to download, export, whatever the word is on the screen there, any upcoming appointments, ongoing appointments, like regular things, before it shuts down, so that you've got that ready to go. Super. You don't want to lose it. You don't want people showing up for meetings that you can't be there for. And then, as you're going through this process and you've got now your exported file, you've made your decision, jump in and set up that new tool, right? Configure it the way that you want, import your appointments, sync it with your calendars, all that kind of stuff. Sooner the better, because then you're going to notify your clients, your members, that type of thing. Let them know about the change. Let them know it wasn't your fault because people don't like change. I'm just going to warn you up front about that. So let them know about the change. Let them know how they can book with you going forward. Give them the new links and all that kind of stuff. Again, this is why having your own website, having an email list is really good because it's just going to provide different ways to grab people because not everybody's going to be paying attention to one of the places. So you're going to want to get this message out across the board for everybody that's out there. And then this is another big one, right? All the places. So update your Facebook page, right? Just because they're taking it away, doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk about it. So update your Facebook page, your website, your social media, any place that you have referenced how people can make appointments with you using the old tool, update instructions, all that kind of stuff to make sure that everybody's got the information that they need. All right. And the other big point here is, yes, it's not a on fire emergency maybe in the middle of June, but the time is going to go quickly, especially over the summer, right? We get so distracted over the summer with all this cool stuff going on and things and places that we're, hanging out. So don't leave this to the last minute. Start exploring your options now. Go and do a search for, online scheduling tools. What are some other good ones? Maybe try, right now I would be looking for Facebook appointment alternatives. That's probably going to be a very hot keyword for a while. Scheduling software, online booking, scheduling tools. Those are the types of keywords to use when you're searching so that you can go ahead and find something that's going to work for you. I know this isn't good news. I know this is going to cause a lot of stress for people, but at least with this plan, hopefully that will make it a little bit easier, a little bit more streamlined. So just go ahead, your must-haves, your nice-to-haves, get that written down so that when you go and you start evaluating, you've got something that will make it very easy for you to say, yes, well, let's look further into this. This one's not going to work for us. And just go ahead and get things started and start getting the word out, because you're going to want to ideally transition people from the Facebook appointments and reminders into the new one sooner than later, right? You don't want to wait until they're ready to pull the plug. You're going to want to do this right away, and it'll make it easier for you to transition your members and your clients that way. So yes, so that's what I have for you. If you have any questions, if you need help, you can reach out to me here, yourtechcoach.com. If you want, more information, if you want some more ideas, you can go ahead and reach me here. You can also schedule one-on-one consult if that's something that you need, or if you just have another topic that you want me to cover on a future show, please reach out. That's what this is all here for. For you folks who power through to the end, love you. It makes all the difference, and it really does help a lot. So I really do appreciate you. So here is your bonus. When you go and you're looking at this, right? So whether you're picking a scheduling tool for the first time or you're you've got to find an alternative because of what Facebook's done to you, ideally, you're going to want something that either ties into your calendar or that you can set days and times that work for you, right? Because you don't want people scheduling things, when you're busy or when you've got other things going on. So that is something to look for. Another thing to look for is it's a nice to have for a lot of people, but it's almost a must have on my list. And that's something that offers reminders to you and your clients is super helpful. If you can't afford, a plan that includes that, there's ways that you can do that yourself with your emails. Like when somebody books an appointment, you can go ahead and schedule an email to remind them so you don't have to remember. And you can even email that to yourself to remind you, all good. Bonus points if you find something that does these things and lets people reschedule on their own, because that's a huge time saver for you, right? You don't have to get into that game of, oh, I need to reschedule. Okay, what's good for you? Like if they could just do it in the tool, it just makes life so much easier. So I'm going to share a couple of options with you. I'll just bring them up here so you can see them. Not that one, this one. There we go. It's the same information. So these are just a few that I've picked out. Like I said, there's a ton, but it just gives you a feel for the options, right? So simplybook.me has got one. The reason I included this is because it does have a free plan. So that's definitely something that's going to be important for some people. And then it has different tiers for different levels of service. Another one is Calendly. I can never say that the first time. Again, they also have a free, which I like. And then they've got some different levels. And for reference, Marcus uses Calendly and is very happy with it. A client of mine also uses it and has been mostly happy with it, because it does offer some things like round robin scheduling if you need that. It includes my brain just went dead. Oh, you could do workflows in it, that kind of stuff. So there you go. Marcus's opinion, a little extra bonus there. And then there's other tools like Acuity scheduling. Now, this is one that was a standalone company, but has recently, well, I guess it's been a while now. They were bought by Squarespace. So they've got just custom, paid plans. I think there is a free trial, but it's all paid plans. So that's just options. Like, no affiliate here, none of that. These are just some options to kind of give you an idea of what to look for, what to check out. And yes, that's another good point, Marcus. Thank you. You want to make sure that it is a time zone one. So there are some free ones out there that are super, super basic, right? And they don't necessarily adjust for time zones. So ideally, you want to make sure that when people are scheduling and looking at your calendar to see what's available, that they're seeing it in, as it relates to their time zone, and you see it as it relates to your time zone. So everybody's on the same page and the same day and time, because it happens, right? I mean, people book things and forget to mention that they told you about it, in East Coast time, but they're on the West Coast or they're in the UK, which of course changes everything. We've all been there. So yes, again, the more it can help you, the better off things will be for you and for your audience, clients, members, what have you. So there you go. Again, like I said, not awesome news, but it is what it is. If you have any questions, you need further assistance, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I will help as much as I can. Or, as I mentioned, you can reach out directly and I will do what I can. If just make sure you give me an email address. And if it's something that, you need more hands-on help with, you can always go ahead and book a one-on-one consult. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free. I hope that everybody will jump into the comments and let us know how this is impacting you, what your plans are, because the more we can swap ideas around, the more we can all help each other. And I will see you next time with more tech updates and tips. Hope everybody's having a good one, and we will talk again soon. Bye.